Hey y'all, this is, I guess, going to be May's poem now. I admittedly am looking a bit rough. Uh, rough. I feel like a shaggy old dog. Interestingly enough, I have July 8th booked with the Scissor Wizard, and July 8th also booked with the Wow of Brow, Miss Saskia, and that is Brow, literally in my case. I don't know if you can zoom in there. It will be two. Once again, once I'm done, I will look like a human being and not like Caliban from The Tempest anymore. This selection is quite a doozy, I must admit. It, I won't give too much introduction except to say this. I will say that I've decided to write a poem about today's times, and I guess sort of inspired by the roaring 20s, the 1920s, the jazz age, and the wonderful emergence of film. Yes, I believe film had emerged around the 1890s or so, but it really caught on with the silent wonders by like Charlie Chaplin and others, and jazz probably came around 1900 or so, but really hit its stride in the 20s in New Orleans. So we had the Roaring Twenties in the 1920s, and in my opinion, this 2020s I'm going to call the Ridiculous Twenties. When it comes to the heinous sexual violence against women or the indiscriminate murdering of minorities, the line between good and evil couldn't be drawn more clearly. It is literally the difference between black and white. But many matters of the day are much more murky. Suddenly, everyone is an expert on a year-old pandemic, and if you disagree, you are vilified. I know it has killed millions of people and changed all of our lives. But if you think medical science's responses are foolproof, please don't vilify me for raising some doubt. And oh yeah, I'm getting my shot, because it's our best possible answer right now. If we suffer some incubated lethal reaction from the jab, I'd rather die with most of my friends and family than be left with a few coughing paranoiacs. No one knows much for certain, so I won't judge you for wearing your mask outdoors, nor will I raise accusations if the needle ain't for you. But don't give me no kisses if you're all choked up. I'm not here to challenge the loss of your loved ones. You have my deepest sympathy. But it might be dangerous to believe everything they tell us. If this came from Wuhan bats, then why now and not any other time in the last 200 years? I only mean to say that without certainty, we should tolerate a reaction that might be different from our own. And it is so hard, despite all our isolation, to actually be on one's own. Issues are oversimplified to two sides, when a great many are a great deal more complicated. It's always us and them, when it should be me and you. Which dichotomy do you think has a greater chance to reconcile? But instead, everyone is reduced to one camp or one other, and they must fall completely in line. God forgive you if you show any divergence. The slightest hint of individuality risks being devoured by dogma. And that's not even the worst of it. We can seldom distinguish between what is of consequence and what is foolish, meaningless. Things can never change if we are at each other's throats over etiquette. War, pollution, poverty, racism, and sexual violence can never be eradicated if we spend all our energy squabbling over the flavor and grammar we use to speak. And things have become so bureaucratized and systematized that it is impossible to actually address anything directly. Does a disability studies course really help me get paid or get laid or get friends made? Of course, there could be no formula for the latter two. True love and friendships can't be coerced, but that doesn't mean we can't bemoan their absence. The exploitation by the very institutions that are supposed to be the most help needs to be stopped. I don't care if you call me whatever disability appropriate term is the flavor of the month. In fact, I'd prefer if you didn't. I can't pronounce most of them. But if you don't pay me for my work or my time, we will always have a problem. The mainstream institutions won't give me my due, so someone's got to help. Please, don't be upset if someone holds the door for you without asking. You need to go through it anyway. Think instead about the travesty that someone without the physical or financial means to manage their care has to suffer institutionalization. What can we do to change this? If you react only to trifles, I will assume you are too bogged down by the pain of real problems to address them, or that you have no real problems at all, or that you want to look like you are making a difference while everything that matters stays the same. Please have the courage to fight dogma. Use your beautiful minds to discern the difference between what matters and what is nonsense. I find it very lonely. Please help what I say actually make a difference. Thanks, folks. I hope you like that one. Enjoy, and I will see you next time in a much more suave and debonair way. And even if what I have to say isn't as important, I will be much more handsome delivering it to you. Okay, ciao for now.